Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to today's edition of the Afridamus Report. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go through a series of news events that's been taking place here in the United States. But, you see, what is happening right now, if anyone has been paying attention, just in case, because, so many people today, you know what, let me rephrase this. When I read about only few people will be able to walk the straight and narrow, seems like 95% of the population are completely devoid of truth and reality. So people use emotions to rouse false feelings in people. All feelings are all lies all the time. Because think about this. Can you imagine if all of us want our feelings to be the decider of what is the truth? You know how people say, my truth? There is no such thing as my truth, but the truth. You see, this my truth is what is destroying the United States of America. And I'm going to get into that today. First topic, I'm going to go in series, ladies and gentlemen. The first one we're going to touch on is going to be racism did it. That's what's going to be our first topic. Racism did it. All of you have heard of racism, ladies and gentlemen. And some of you have heard me say there is no such thing as racism, sexism, Islamophobism. None of that. It's only right now you look at it is a bunch of weak, the weak group of people that got together and trying to take the strong people down. They are not going to fire shots, but they are going to shame you. They are going to delude you into buying into their fantasy. And here in the United States, they control a whole bunch of people. People sit in front of the television. They lose all sense of logic. When people even deal with politicians, for instance, when people do, you see a politician, you now all of a sudden lose all your logic. But the truth is, to begin with, you didn't even have any logic. So the United States of America, just like Europe, right, in Western Europe, is the same people that run the same show. If you notice, a few years back, what happened in Europe, they opened up the European borders, ladies and gentlemen. They opened it up. They started wars in Islamic countries. But before this happened, it was Somalia first. Somalia was among the first. So Somalia is a majority Muslim country. They have their own country, their own religion, which is Islam. And, bringing Somalis into the United States as a group, that's the number one big mistake that the white people did. And hear me out, I'm going to explain. Because you see, human beings, have different cultures, and different ideology. And they know that. They know for a fact, the ideology that they are promoting in the West. Places like the United States, they don't tell you, but the United States is a Christian nation. It's majority Christian. So now, what did they do? They bring a Muslim ideology, Muslims, to Christian in a Christian nation. They don't jive. It's not real. It's not real. I'm just pointing it out. This is why there is all these tensions. So the conflict in Somalia, what did they do? They invited Somalians to different parts of the world. Not to places that share the same culture, the same religion as Somalis, because that would make a lot more sense. But they know, okay, whoever is orchestrating this, because come on now, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta be smarter than this. Someone sat down and thought this out. It's just common sense if you read history and understand what is truth. I'm not saying my truth, the truth, the one that burns people, because people don't like the truth. But I'm going to lay it out here. It is not my truth, the truth. Matifi, thank you for the €5 super chat. Thank you. So we saw Europe, for instance. That's the most recent one. But the Somali one, this was in the 90s, right? Some Somalis went to Europe and some in America. But I noticed a pattern because I studied this. I said, let me pay attention to what is happening here. Because you guys know Ilhan Omar, right? She is a representative from Minneapolis, which is now Mogadishu. So I'm going to come to that. So Ilhan Omar came to the United States as a child, as one of those refugees. So now she is in the US Congress. Big mistake. Big mistake. White people take this, tolerance thing way too far. There is a reason why other countries do not do this. Because your ideologies are going to clash. But Ilhan Omar is a Marxist. There is a difference. She's a Marxist. So to me, I'm confused. This is why I'm raising alarm to this, because I notice the evil people that you, me, and everybody see as evil all came together. They said they hate Christianity, they hate white people, they want you to hate all these people. But you notice they never hate Islam. They even come together. Most Muslims in the United States, they vote Democrat. Does Allah accept homosexuality? Think about this for a minute. Unless they are invoking what they call taqiyya. Go look up what taqiyya is. Meaning you can tell lies to an infidel. But who gets to decide who is an infidel? Who gets to decide? Imagine that. So you are telling me you are following an ideology. Now, every time I turn around, the evil people, these people, they stand for abortion, same-sex marriage, LGBTQ. They don't, people who don't know the difference between a man and a woman, they support all these things. But then these people, they all collide. And they support Islam, right? And it started making me think, what is going on? Are they using the Somalis as a weapon? Are they using them as a weapon? Because what they are doing is, how when in the 90s, when they brought Somalis to the United States, most would live in urban cities, where racial tensions are a little bit high, so they can be acclimated in start thinking in terms of race, right? So after living there for some time, then now, Minnesota, which was 99% white, the Marxists, they want to take over that place. They said, let's take the Somalis and move them to Minneapolis. And pretty soon, they would slowly take over. There would be a clash of culture. You see what I'm saying? So now, they did the slippery slope. Because you see, in the United States, you can practice your religion. Everybody's free, right? But now, they've tested the line. And white people have seen that these people, like Ilhan Omar, clearly profess her hate for America and white people, right? She clearly does this. And white people are like, yeah, they just go along. I'm just pointing out what is happening. Last summer, when BLM was out burning the white people's city, white people, have you noticed who was there with them? Have you noticed? I'm just calling it out like it is. So now the city council, they voted to allow the call of prayer, in the loudspeaker in Minneapolis. They approve of it for this to happen. Hey, look, it's one thing, you can practice your religion, we all know that. But ask yourself, all this BLM stuff that happened, this is not the first time, by the way. I will bring you clips that I put together. This is not the first time. So that tells me, like, all these Satanists. I mean, look at Biden's cabinet. Look at everything. Like the people, the government of the United States right now. Just pay attention. You look at it when the president comes out. Everything that this president supports is evil. Think about it. He supports killing babies inside the womb. So if you don't support that, why would you go along with that, right? So you are saying, Satan's children, you are the same as them when you vote and give those people power. That means you approve of that, right? So he said, we want to take the American people's guns from them. Think about it. Their Second Amendment right. I shouldn't say they, because now I'm an American too. It is a right that is given to them. And the reason why they put that in place, mind you, they said so that when the government become tyrannical, the people can defend themselves. Ask yourself, who is constantly trying to take, the American citizens' guns from them? Who is trying to do it? The government. For example, you have someone like Ilhan Omar, who runs in the name of the Somalis, by the way. Because this video that I'm about to show you, if I call myself a Muslim, I would be very, very wary if Satanists, LGBTQ people that support, everything that the God that you say you serve calls an abomination, but you support it. Some people might deny it with their tongue, but the action speaks louder than words. And we see who those people are supporting. If I'm part of any group, if this Satanist starts supporting that group, I will start questioning it. I will start questioning, what is going on? Why do they want to push me forward and leave these other people behind? And by the way, I have seen with my own eyes where, especially mostly young Somali females, during those riots, I see them out there, supporting the other side, standing with evil. I've seen it. Matifi, thank you for your €5 super chat. Matifi said, the war on the West is a wake-up call to the Western world by Douglas Murray, calling for the defense of Semitism and Western culture. Thank you. So, you look at it, right? They just voted to approve of that prayer call. And this is going to be a problem. It is a problem. My question to you people, you look at this. Is this an invasion without firing shots? Because you know, in Islamic history, when the Prophet Muhammad was living in Mecca, Mecca, and his people at the time did not approve of his message. At the time, Islam was weaker. So the Prophet Muhammad and his people got invited to Medina, the other city. They used to have Jews and Christians there. So eventually, now it's Muslim, right? They didn't fight them right away. We weren't there, but it turned to that. So maybe history is repeating itself here in America. Because not only are you know, most of the churches, they are buying them up and turning them into mosques in America. That's what they are doing. So here we go. Let me allow you to see the resolution has been passed, and then we'll get into the Marxist ideology and how people hide behind quote-unquote racism. And you have to wake up to these lies, because they are pacifying you so you can give up your power. They are pacifying you so you don't use common sense. The white people are in trouble. They just don't have any idea, unless they are just playing along like they don't know. But you are in trouble, because the day people fix their mouth to try to oppose this, watch what's gonna happen. Just watch what's gonna happen. Okay, here we go. Let me give you the mini series.
The largest Somali community in the United States is here in Minnesota, especially in the Twin Cities and this metro area. We are part of the community as American citizens, and we were feeling like we didn't get our full rights yet, because part of our full rights is the adhan of the salah, our prayer.
These are the covers. Are always, you know, when we have raining and then we come up, you know, just.
That one up there is
senior high rise. Yep.
So guys, if you, it does, hey, let's keep it real. Hey, isn't this an invasion? I mean, hey, I get it. They say, hey, you can practice, right? But now they're like, hey, we want to call on the loudspeaker. You know, we know over here, you know, like not everybody's Muslim. People wake up early. Some don't wake up early. They want to, you know, live their lives. Even white people, their own lifestyle. Remember, their clubs, you have to soundproof it. They have to soundproof it. But now, you know, this man is saying it is not enough for you to be able to have a mosque. He wants for them to be able to make the announcement, then he would feel like he has a right. Let's just be real. Does that make sense to you? I'm asking you. And if you think it does, by all means, explain it to me. But to me, and I know some are going to say, oh, you are against Islam if you say that. No, I'm not against anyone. But truth is truth. Truth is truth. When they put this in place, some white people are going to complain. And there's going to be a problem.
The tall one.
This one is kind of really facing them.
so they can hear from here, there. So they hear it.
Guys, even in Saudi Arabia, now they are beginning to stop this, because they said everybody in this technology day and age, everyone's got a phone. They can get an app that would, give the adhan to you, to everyone. So those who are devoted to Allah, if they are truly devoted, they can just go to the call of prayer. They can just easily do that. But if you say it, oh, you are Islamophobic, whatever that means. Oh, you don't like, this group of people. Oh, you people are just hateful people. And then weak white people, weak-knee white people. And you tell yourself these lies. And then you try to feel like, oh, I have empathy, I have sympathy, whatever the hell that means. They can't even explain it to you. Do you think you will be allowed to build your drinking bar in Mogadishu? Do you think that will happen? I'm just asking for a friend. You think you can build strip clubs? And white people, you guys are into strip clubs, you know this. But hey, when you move to the white people's country or anyone's country, you have to go by their rules. You don't try to change and impose your will on them. That is just the truth. You see? I know. No one is saying, do you have to make the loud prayer call for you to feel like a citizen? Let's just be honest. Do you have to do that? You don't have to. So that argument is silly at best. I'll let this continue.
Adhan is in Arabic. Linguistically, it means announcing publicly to everyone that the time of the prayer has come. So Adhan basically means letting everybody know that the next prayer is about to come. Calling.
So guys, you see, he just told you. Adhan is letting everyone know when the next call of prayer is. So, mind you, everyone right now, people have been living here in this country as Muslims. They didn't need to make this announcement. And people are still going to, this call of prayers. Look, white people, you have rules against people having roosters in the city. These are chickens. They don't bother anyone. Roosters, because you said, the noise ordinance. You see? So my thing is, when, you have a group of satanic people that are banning the good people, and most of you will agree with me that these people are evil. If evil people are supporting you, oil and water doesn't mix. Hate and love doesn't mix. That to me, that's very suspicious. But white people are making a big mistake, big one. In fact, selling their kids' future. That's what's happening here. They are losing America.
The Adhan out loud, it really means a lot to us, especially in our community in South Minneapolis.
So you see now, these people are not even real Muslims. They even have a female. That is a female calling the prayer. So I don't know if this is this is the section where, the Christian, there's part of Christians who support LGBTQ. So they are like, oh, a man and a woman are equal. Oh, now it is a new day. No, you see, let me tell you something. if you believe in God, as you say, from the beginning of time, the same sun that you see, that's the same sun from the beginning. So it doesn't change. You see? It doesn't change. It's the same thing. And now what do they have? Female preachers. Female preachers. You see? So that means now the devil is in charge, is in the driver's seat, disguising as the true way. Because the moment a woman is calling Adhan in that mosque, if you go and pray in that mosque, you are now serving Satan. Just know that. From that point on, you are serving Satan. Don't ever say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Don't even say it. Matifi, thank you for the 20 euro super chat. It's rare case in Europe. Thank you. So just think about it. So now they are doing, this is the equality gang. This is not real Islam. So white people, you are being played. The Marxists are playing you left and right and center. They are not only using race color on you, they are slapping you with, religion too. You see a woman calling prayer in a Muslim mosque and you think that's a real mosque? Come on, guys. Come on. Are you serious right now? So now you guys are just going to create your own realities. This is what is happening in the United States. It is a shame. A lot of people just going around. They don't know the difference between right and wrong. And this comes in all colors. It's not about race. It's about the evil that exists in people. This here that I'm showing you, this is very evil, ladies and gentlemen. This is very evil. A woman calling prayer. Where have you seen that at?
So the city has approved, but for us as a mosque, we would like to actually buy new systems, sound systems, and the process would be also like to inform the neighborhood, engage with them and inform them about the decision, so that we actually want to do the adhan in public. And we hope that through calling the adhan public, it would actually bring more interest from the neighbors in knowing about the religion of Islam.
Okay, so you want to impose the religion on the neighbors. Guys, you see what's happening here? So we just want to, we want to impose this on the neighbors. You don't think white people already know about your religion? You don't think they already know? So it's like, okay, you are saying to the white people, okay, you know what? You invited us from the war in Somalia. Now we are here, but this is what we're bringing to the table. We're trying to brainwash you and your children into joining our religion. Just look at it that way. Come on, let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. So you're saying you want to brainwash me. You are in this ideology that, couldn't get you to be stronger than me for you to help me. How can you convince me to join you? Oh, I'm going to put it in your face. That's what it is, pretty much. Pretty much. Let's continue.
We know we have Somali neighbors, and they're increasing in number in ways that we may not have noticed 5 or 2 years ago. And I've seen it. I went to a community party the other day and there were Somali families, there were Haitian families, Latino families, all gathered. And I gave a prayer, the Somali mother gave a prayer in Arabic, and they didn't.
So, you see, it is funny. You have, these are the type of white people that make me laugh, the fake Christians. Okay? Look. Does that look like a real pastor to you people? Come on, let's be real. Those of you that are so much into religion, would you allow that person to be your pastor? Are you serious right now? Okay.
Know each other's language, but they knew that they were there for a common commitment to their community.
So obviously, so this is what's funny. So if you look at Mogadishu doesn't have parks like this. So obviously Somalis are not into these things. Because if they were into it so much, they would have built it in Mogadishu. You see? But this fake pastor wants to come and pretend like he loves the Somalis and the Haitians. You know, he probably think, oh, you know, you're all black. You guys are from the same place. So literally, it's as if they are, like I said, they using the Somalis as a weapon. Because this is wild. Why would they send such a, like, okay, you think, like I said, I was born and raised a Muslim. You think they would bring that type of pastor? Me as a kid, they're like, oh yeah, this pastor is gonna come pray for you guys. Are you serious right now? Come on.
Because when we're from the country Somalia, the people was hearing the Adhan loudly. Even if you are sleeping, you can hear it, then you can wake up. I know that it's a little bit complicated because of the society and all of these things, but I hope that it's going to be, reconsidered and the people understand it and then become so little loudly that I can hear it.
Also developing tonight in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 4 people were killed and several wounded in a mass shooting at a medical office building near St. Francis Hospital. That does not include the gunman who, according to police, killed himself. The police have not.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, you see that report over there? I see some people saying, oh, you come in for Somalis. Okay. Tell me one lie I have told here. Tell me one lie I have told. I'm just calling a spade a spade. You don't have to like it. But imagine, I'm just saying, imagine somebody coming into your home and then they imposing their will on you. Pretty much that's what this is. That's what it is. Now, let's go to the communists. You see this word called racism. You guys have heard this word, racism. So this racism, people can never define it for you. The people that claim racism are the ones that also decide what it means. So you can never win. So everyone uses this racism, especially Marxists and communists. So there's a woman named Angela Davis. Because you see, I was studying all these mass shooting things. Black Lives Matter, the Marxists. So I went all the way back to 1971. So this Black Lives Matter thing that you see, this is nothing new. They've already done this. Do you know, that civil rights thing they did back in the 60s? You've heard about it, right? Martin Luther King, you know why he is more popular than Malcolm X? And because back in those days, they had a lot of quote-unquote Black Power movements. They've had those. You've heard of the Black Panthers and all those other groups. So those people, they didn't want anything to do with white people. They didn't want that. They said, they are preaching hate and shooting white people out in the open. So Martin Luther King, the white people that are behind him, they need him to be the opposite of those people so they can get white support. But the movement is not about black people. It is other powerful people that are behind it. Come on now. So you look at it, they will look at a group of people. This is the Marxist ideology. They will look at a group of people that have a history of oppression. And then they turn their oppression around. They make it seem like we are here to fight with you, but they're twisting that, to further their own agenda. They will bring people that look like you, to try to push that agenda. So what I did, studying this, I saw a woman named Angela Davis. So this Angela Davis, this woman, she's old now, but she is still pretty evil. In fact, I would let her speak for herself. This is back when they were going around, burning cities down just like BLM. So this is not the first time. This is not the first time. So this is why, I'm looking at it today, these things that are happening in Minneapolis, for instance. If you look at the people that are pushing this type of agenda, anybody that they support, you should see it as an evil motive behind it. Open your eyes and see for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I want you to think for yourself. See what is playing out in front of you. There was a mass shooting in Nigeria. Have you guys heard about it? A gunman went to a church in Nigeria and killed people there. He's an Islamist, as they call it. It's one of these rogue Islamic groups. So if you look at it, the people in that church, if those people had their Second Amendment right, like in the United States of America, they could have defended themselves. But you see, the silly politicians in the United States, they come out, they start, trying to push Soros and tell you, oh, do it for the kids. The kids? Are you serious? You mean the same kids where you're taking little boys, you're castrating them, trying to turn them into lesbians? These people are pushing this agenda. These people are promoting the idea that there is no such thing as a man and a woman. And this is going up to the highest level. You know how so many people, they tell you they are educated, they went to college. Now, you should be suspicious of these people. It's like they are producing dumb people out of that college factory. Look, you know why I don't call it college? I call it the 13th grade. I used to be that student where in one of those partial online classes, when I put my assignment there, because of my ideas, they don't want the other students to see it. How are you going to call that a center for learning? It is not. It is center for brainwashing. This is why today you see people that you think are intelligent. They come and stand in front of you. They are telling you a man is not a man. And you clap. And you wonder why. You're seeing the things you're seeing. You wonder why you see the devils are running around and shooting people all over. They say guns. The guns is what kills people. But you notice in Nigeria, they are not saying that. They are not saying it is racism, because you see, in Nigeria, you cannot play this, American delusion or Western delusion. You can't fool yourself. You have to face reality. You have to face reality. Literally, the person in Oklahoma that went and shot the doctor, black doctor, and the shooter is a black man. In fact, there is more black mass shooters in the United States than they tell you. I'm going to put a compilation for you and show you, shootings that just happened as of recent. But this shooter in Oklahoma went to the hospital. You heard about it. You know why? You guys will not believe the excuse that was given. Because he said his doctor did not give him medication for pain. And there was some silly woman that justified this. Justified it on Twitter, said, It was racism. So these people have been hiding behind racism for some time. And I got the proof to show you. Let's watch this short little documentary I put together for you. Here we go. I will be back.
You heard about the case of Emily Butler? It's a very tragic case. Because when we talk about racism and the black worker, we have to try to understand what's been happening with the Emily Butlers. She's a sister who worked at the Atlanta Internal Revenue Service Bureau. And as she had mentioned on many occasions prior to the charges being lodged against her, she felt that she was a particular target of the racism, the institutionalized racism, in the sense that she never got promoted whenever times for promotion came around.
So you can create your own racism in your head if you want. So you see how she's making all these excuses. These are the same people who, like they get to control and decide what racism is. She's calling this woman her sister. But this woman is a Marxist. It's a political movement, a political ideology. This woman is never held a job. She's a philosophy major. She went to the School of Frankfurt. Go look all these things up that I'm telling you. And then they said she's a professor. So this woman, lives in this la-la land. 1 minute she's about walkers, the other minute is black. So they wrap these things, what it seems to be, that's not what it really is. But if you're an angry person, you have hatred in your heart, you are easily swayed to follow this. So the story she's telling is of a black woman, who killed people. Now she is going to try to blame it on racism, just like that Oklahoma shooter. Somebody's trying to say it's because of racism. The shooter is black, the doctor is black. Like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. But these people will just say this thing. That's why I always ask the question, because I want to know what you would refer to as racism. But when you ask the question, they get upset. That tells you that they are telling you lies, and they're trying to brainwash you into believing the lies they are telling you.
Whenever she made a request, her request was always denied. And when it came to just outright, blatant, overt racist harassment, she had to deal with that every single day, every day she went to work. And you see, one day, she asked to see her doctor, and they told her no. And then they started screaming at her that she had punched in her time card 2 minutes.
Have you guys noticed? She is telling the story from a first-hand experience. She's telling it from a first-hand experience. So she is building up what is to become the excuse. Super chat from Supergirl. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. And Steven, what do you mean leave Somalis out of this? Didn't you see what the news was? This is not a swipe at Somalis, it's the news. This is what is going on, So if you're a smart man, don't try to be mad at the messenger. Just look at what I'm saying and break it down. But why are you upset at what I'm saying? Think about it for a minute. Take the time, think about the things I've said and look into it. That's what we are here for. It's nothing against Somalis. I love everybody, every human being. So relax, okay?
Late. And then the white 4 men and 4 women really began to get on her back. And the sister became so desperate that she didn't know what to do. And she went and got a gun and she shot 2 women.
So, going from doctor's report, she, like the way she's formulating the story, doesn't it sound like this woman was just oppressed? But she is justifying this. And just watch what happens here. Just watch.
But you see, let's try to understand what was happening in that situation.
Did you guys catch that? She said the woman went and shot 2 white women, and the people are clapping. So, you mean to tell me that's not evil? Are you guys going to tell me that's not evil? Are you going to tell me somebody should be justified to shoot another person, let's just say because they didn't have, a doctor's note? Who cares? You just quit if it's that important to you. So what they are not pointing out, maybe, this woman has mental issues. But this is plain evil. Evil.
Because that's certainly not the answer to liberation. I mean, we got hundreds of thousands of Emily Butlers. And we have to realize that Emily Butler is not guilty. It is racism that pulled that trigger. Racism. And if anybody needs to be indicted and imprisoned, it's the reincarnation of racism himself.
Did you guys hear this? So, she went around and around in circles, and she said it was racism that pulled that trigger. People, think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. But so she is a communist through and through, and you're going to hear it from herself.
Richard Nixon. Focusing on the plight of working women and poor women, third world women, is because these are the masses of women. As a member of the Communist Party.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that she's a member of the Communist Party? So, put your emotions aside. I know most of you have probably been brainwashed since you were a child. So, if for instance you hear, let's say someone talk about truth about Martin Luther King, and people start getting all upset because since you were a child, they brainwashed you. They made you believe that Martin Luther King is the equivalent of George Washington. If you're paying attention, George Floyd is now the new Martin Luther King. Have you guys noticed? Martin Luther King supported this woman, by the way. So now, is it making sense when they said Martin Luther King was a communist? Here we go.
Marxist. I see working.
You guys see that? Karl Marx, the founder and father of Marxism. Go read about him.
People as being the agents of revolution. And I see black working people, Chicano working people, Puerto Rican working people as being in the vanguard of that revolution.
So that's called the collectivism. They are trying to, collect all, quote unquote, all the oppressed people. So let's be real. So they are saying, all like Mexicans, blacks, Puerto Rican, anybody who is not like quote unquote white, to collide against white people. That's what this is. So literally, it's literally, you know, you look at it, somebody is standing in front of you, trying to convince you to be a hater, filled with rage. So you guys thought this, what you're seeing now, this is something new. Back then also, they said there was racism. So this racism, what? It disappeared, it came back again? Is that what you people want to believe? So yeah, she said racism pulled the trigger. I hope you heard that.
Sometimes, when I talk about the question of the working class, I've confronted situations where, black people, and most of them are non-working people, say, what's all that worker talk about? I don't want to hear anything about workers. I want to hear about black people. But 94% of black people are working people. And when you talk about the working class and the exploitation of the working class.
So a woman who's a philosophy major, she didn't invent anything, but what she's about to do to tell working people how they are getting exploited. So you see how the communists talk, how they use two things interchangeably, class and color. Class and color. So the people who buy into class and color, tend to gravitate towards that. If you have identity crisis, you're confused about who you are, you have hate in you, you hate your mama, your daddy, whoever. You're just mad at the world, you're jealous of rich people, so you make it a mission to take them down. That's what communism is. So now she's like, okay, most black people work. If they don't go with the skin color thing, maybe class, I can bring them in. I'm giving you a little synopsis of the history of what you are seeing. These Marxist communists, they've been coming and going, for the past 50 years, or even before that. Every time they get hold of power, they burn the place down because they don't know how to invent anything. Because their job, they want to destroy what, the inventors invented. I mean, look at the hatred towards George Washington, one of the greatest white men that lived in this country here, fought against the British that established this country, that gave her and others like her the right to speak this. So now, they cannot bring you anything better but to teach you hate. I don't know about you, but if people sit there and clap at somebody describing how two people got shot and killed, come on. You want to tell me something isn't wrong with those people? This woman is Karl Marx incarnated. She is. Go study about her.
You have to realize that black people are the first targets, the first victims, the worst victims of anything that a white worker is going to undergo. And that has always been the case throughout our history. The problem is that a lot of white workers don't understand that racism has historically been the most effective weapon, not only in order to ensure the super exploitation of black workers and workers of color, but in order to facilitate the exploitation of white workers. Because racism turns the head of the white worker towards the black worker as being his enemy, and he forgets that there's somebody up there in those corporation suites who has his who has his foot on their heads and who's oppressing them. They forget about that. And when they forget about that, there's nowhere in the world.
Guys, isn't it funny how these types, they always know how oppressed other people are? You know, they're the ones that are oppressed, but then they will tell you how educated they are. So, and you know, they seem to be getting paid. They are not, if they say black people lack all these privileges, you notice how they are not telling you how they got it? So they are saying they are better than you. So they have the power to see, you know, this oppression. You know? She get to tell you how oppressed you are. But this woman has never held a real job. Teaching philosophy is not a real job. I saw somebody writing over there. Yes, teaching quote unquote philosophy and then, you know, giving these evil speeches, that's not a job. That is not a job.
They're going to talk about ameliorating their conditions at all. And that's why, you know, that's why I think that in general, when you talk about struggles of working people in this country, it has to be recognized that the fight against racism is the central priority, and no white worker can ever attain any kind of consciousness of his condition unless he understands or she understands the need to participate in the fight against racism.
Ladies and gentlemen, so what she was saying in that last sentence, I don't know if you caught it. She said, okay, a white person has to participate in, you know, they would never understand what racism is until they participate in fighting, you know, against racism. So racism, supposedly, it is white people against them, right? So don't you think it would be so stupid to ask those same white people to fight against themselves? So literally these people, what they are saying, they are trying to play with your mind to tell you that, okay, you are racist if you do not help me defeat you. For instance, you would see like black people that get mad at, you know, white people or other black people for voting for Trump, for instance. Or you said, oh, Trump is racist, white people are for Trump. So white people are hearing you saying how, you know, when you take over, what you are going to do. So you are asking this person to help you defeat them. It is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So you are so weak. Now you have to shame me into allowing you to beat me. Have you guys ever heard that? I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have. It's like dealing with some women. You know, they act like children. You're like, oh, why aren't you emotional like me? Because that would make me a beta male. Because I'm not a woman. But nowadays, there's many beta males. A lot of them, you watching me, they are probably going to be upset because this truth that I'm speaking here, this goes against their brainwashing. Instead of saying, oh, let me listen to what this man is saying, let me, you know, pick it out and see if in fact what he is saying is true. There is a documentary out asking this question. What is a woman? People, can you believe, like, would you have ever thought, I'm speaking to the people that have common sense, that you would have to ever ask this question to people that quote unquote you think they have common sense? You see, if you gotta be upset at me instead of, debating the points that I'm making, especially if convincing me of what you're saying is the burden is on you, hey, then be upset. I have no problem. If you think you are a stone, that's on you. But I'm not insane. Why would I think you are a stone? This doesn't make sense. But that's the entire goal, to keep you insane. So those, you look at all these beta males in Hollywood. It is a sad, sad thing. They come out because, this month, they call it the Pride Month. I don't know what's there to be prideful about. But, it's like you will have to be forced to like this. And this is a package. So that's why some of the people that are saying here, oh, you're picking on the Somalis. No, I'm not. Because I'm pointing out a pattern here. I'm pointing out a people that have a political agenda. Maybe you are supporting Ilhan Omar just based on her being a Somali, but maybe you don't know her political agenda, ideology. Is that a possibility? Sure. There are a lot of people in this country that are ignorant of these things that I'm saying. This is why many people are getting upset at what I'm saying. So, I'm going to show you other mass shootings. There is a village, I wouldn't call it a village, a town in Oklahoma City, 174 people there, black people. So you would think all these people, maybe they might even be related. These people probably know each other. I would think there's like a couple of poor white people that live there. But the point here is, you did not hear about this story and many, many others. Why? In West Virginia, there was a man, they were having a graduation party. He goes to this graduation and the guy was upset. He goes back, gets his gun, his AR-15, and he opened fire. There was a woman there with her pistol. She returned fire, and she returned it good. And she neutralized the threat, saving people's lives. You notice they don't tell you that? Do you know that in the Constitution, it's already been proven, people have gone to court. The cops, let me tell you, do you know that they are not obligated to jump in, like let's say if there's shooting, to come and save you? Did you know this? So that's why the people that thought they were shaming those cops over there in Uvalde, go read these laws. Yes, I get it. They are immoral. These are silly laws. This is why I'm pointing these things out to you so you can think for yourself. Do not outsource your common sense to other people. They tell you, oh, it is racism. But in Nigeria, all of them are black, and the gunman went in the church and shot them. That's over Islam, right? Did you hear anyone say, they should ban guns? Who knows? Biden probably called the Nigerian president, Buhari. It's like, Buhari, I heard about the shooting. Are you talking about, banning the guns in Nigeria? Guns are banned in Nigeria. Did that stop the shooting? No. It is people that kill people. Do you guys know, like in Sweden, I was doing research about in Europe, where they have shootings, right? You don't hear this? In Sweden, they have gang problem there. In Sweden. And there's shootings over in Sweden. Sweden they not supposedly have guns like the United States. In the UK, they ban their guns, but they are knifing people, like there's no tomorrow. So the point is, it is not the gun. it is the man or the woman behind that gun. Just as when you're driving a car, you are in charge of the car. Imagine hitting someone and then the cops come, you're like, oh, the car did it. So it is fake. These people do not care about those children. What makes you think a politician has more care about other human beings than you? That tells me something must be wrong with you. For you to, oh, people are like, oh, they feel sorry for the people that get shot. All fake, all baloney. They don't care about those people. Just like, for instance, Ukraine, right? You see people flying the Ukrainian flag. They've never heard of Ukraine until then. There are many wars that are ongoing right now as we speak, even before Ukraine. So now you all of a sudden, you know, and those wars have way more casualties than what is happening in Ukraine. What makes Ukraine more important to capture your sympathy than those places? The Democratic Republic of Congo, parts of it, there is war there. There was the war in Guatemala, where so many people, you know, hundreds, I would say, about 100,000 people died there. There is wars in many places. Yemen, you guys look up Yemen. The Saudis are over there bombing the Yemenis, you know, starving them. These same people that are telling you to feel sympathy for Ukraine are supplying the weapons for that to happen. They are supplying the weapons. Have you ever thought about that? So that's why I say it's all about hypocrisy. So that's why I'm pointing it out. If you're not a hypocrite, you shouldn't be upset. Matifi, thank you for the €5 super chat. You said, are you anti-West? No, I'm not anti anything. I'm about the truth. You know, I don't go along with what, you know, just because everybody is going along with it. See, most people don't think for themselves. Just in case you haven't noticed. How did one convince you to believe in the things that you believe in today? How? Let me show you mass shootings here. I put this together for you guys. Here we go.
The largest Somali
3 minutes and ran into the building right away. New tonight, we are hearing some of the 911 calls after someone was shot into a crowd of 300 people who showed up for a graduation party in Fayette County.
Please hurry. I don't know what's happening.
It was a chaotic scene early Saturday morning in the Northridge development. Neighbors tell 11 Alive there were hundreds of teens partying in the middle of the street. The sheriff's office says the graduation party's host was cited for loud noise and underage drinking, but deputies are still looking for some teens who allegedly pulled a gun on an Uber driver. The driver was reportedly impatient in a traffic jam because of the crowd.
And gun violence continued in parts of America.
So, put a little compilation. That's in West Virginia. West Virginia, this man, he's the one that pulled the gun out and the woman returned fire. So you guys thought when I was telling you about this small town of 174 people in Oklahoma, you guys thought I was probably making it up, right? Here we go. Here we go.
This weekend, a Memorial Day festival in a small Oklahoma town turned deadly when gunfire erupted this morning. It happened in Taft, about 40 miles southeast of Tulsa. Police say it started with an argument. A 39-year-old woman was killed and 7 others were injured. That included 2 children, the ages of the victims ranging from 9 to 56.
We just started hearing what sounded like fireworks.
So you guys thought when I said it was a a small black town, you guys thought I was making it up. You guys remember there was somebody saying, oh, it's only in the inner city. This town, go look it up, has 174 people. How do you, on a celebration day, how upset can you be to shoot up the place? Like 174, that's literally a family, one family. That's one family. But ask yourself, how come you didn't hear this? There's a reason why.
First, and then it turned into a lot of gun, pow, 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 pow. And then it went from there, people running, people losing their shoes, people getting shot, and it went from there.
All those who survived the incident are expected to recover. Police say a 26-year-old male suspect turned himself in and is now in jail.
The shooter was black, by the way. So you see, they tell you, oh, you should worry about white supremacy. All these shootings that I've shown you, that's what it is. So it is not about race. It's about what makes sense. You see, when people deliberately lie to your face, do those people love you? Ask yourself that question. Because to me, a liar is the devil. A liar is the devil. You look at it, 174. That's like a tiny little African village. Only the African village is a bit safer. Because you don't have to worry about somebody shooting up the place. Or even yelling at adults. You see? So, I want you to think for yourself. See what is happening. No such thing as racism, sexism, Islamophobism. Because you see, I saw some people use Islamophobia in my chat. Oh, even wrote threats. Isn't it amazing how someone who says they're about the truth and about peace, but the moment they hear something they don't like, they respond in evil. If you're that way, you should check yourself. You definitely should. It is not the police's problem. It is not the school teacher's problem. It is not white people's problem. It is a character problem. The evil that exists in people. And the devil lies. You guys have heard about this, right? The devil is a liar. I mean, most of you think about it, right? Especially like in America. America has so many crazy women. If you date these women, you will know. Where you will see, you say one thing, they misconstrue. They're like, oh, you lying to me. But they would follow every word some, let's say, Brad Pitt says as gospel. You're like, oh, who do you believe there? Oh, Brad Pitt. Oh, what does he do again? Oh, actor. Oh yeah, he's so real, right? He gets paid to say those things, to act that way. So you take that as gospel. So to me, a person who believes in people like that and then turn around and try to lecture me and tell me they know reality, I don't listen to people like that because they go by emotion. And today, that's what you see. That's what you see all over. This is why you look at it, that mosque in Minneapolis, the one I just showed you guys, they are turning that into an equality mosque. I used to think, that sector, Somali sector, is hardcore in Islam. But to allow a girl to call the Adhan, that's where I drew the line. That's where I drew the line. What next? A female imam? Because they have female pastors now. And even in the book, the very book that they are preaching from, says, no, a woman cannot teach you. And they will try to, flip it to something else, you see? So they try to water down everything. Everything I'm saying here, especially with this, Islam Imam thing. I have attended this little conference they had about, because you said the colored, but it was mostly LGBTQ. I'm just telling you guys what I saw there, what was real. So they had the Imam there. They had, some people that call themselves transgenders over there. So all these people came together to have this meeting. So you go from room to room. So I went to one of the rooms. There was this Imam. They are talking, and in the room there was many Somalis there. Many Somali Muslims, and some of these women they covered up, but they was supporting the rainbow. I was confused. So the Imam gave his talk, and trust me, people, I couldn't believe what was happening. I would leave that for a completely different show. But when it was time to ask questions, there was two people standing there. I'm not sure if this is man or woman. I'm confused, right? The person goes like, oh, does Islam accept LGBTQ? She said like queer, one of those, sexual classes, right? And the Imam, he stood, this guy said, well, he tried to water it down. He said, as far as I know, Islam did not accept that yet. What do you mean by yet? So I raised my hand, and because the lady was starting to get upset, and I raised my hand. I said to both of them, I said, okay, are you Muslim? They said no. I said, so why do you care what the Islamic rules are? Okay, so now you're trying to force people to change their laws for you. I thought you said you guys just want to live your life. If you're not Muslim, you don't like the Muslim laws, don't be a Muslim. And both of them walked out. Again, I don't know if they're man or woman, but they walked out upset. The Imam came and thanked me. The Imam could not even speak the truth, but this was a freak show, and that's why I said I questioned it, because it was the LGBTQ. What is an Imam doing at the LGBTQ convention? That's what I was confused about. And then trying to preach to say they are trying to bring the LGBTQ into this, but they cannot even, it's not a day. And this Imam, I don't want people to say he's Somali. It's not a Somali Imam. He's like kind of Middle Eastern looking. I think he's like Pakistani, which he's from a hardcore country, but he looks very fake to me, right? So these people have the pulpit. They have the loudest mic. So when I'm over here pointing things out to you, you should be thanking me instead of being upset. Just open your eyes and observe who supports who and what. It will tell you where they stand. Just ask them. Sometimes some of these people just ask, say, hey, what is a woman? Okay? Or say, hey, can two men get married? Can a man have a baby? Because now, biology have changed. That's what they told us. And there are people going along with this. So why would somebody be upset at anyone who says, hey, look, this person is insane? And if you know this person is insane, why would you support a value that you truly, because when people bring it out to you, you would say no. See, when you point people's own thinking to them, to their face, watch how they react. Watch how they react. That would tell you everything that you need to know. if you're not allowed to ask questions, know that they are lying to you. I promise you. If no questions are allowed, zero scrutiny, but you look at it, the same people, they give themselves the right to not only criticize people, but oppose and burn their properties down. So, this is nothing against the Somalis. I just want people to wake up. America, you need to wake up. That Second Amendment, that's your God-given right. If you look at it, the people that want to take that right away, think about it. Who is it? The government. And now they are using, people who are from other countries. By the way, mind you, they came from countries where, they have guns there. It is not legal, but it is because of those availability of guns to one side, and the other side didn't have gun, so they had to flee and leave. You see? So unless you want to end up being like that, look, the last time I checked in history, when a government wants the citizens' guns, there is always an evil ulterior motive behind it. They are telling you they want to take your gun and legalize hard drugs. What does that tell you? They want to take your guns and castrate your boys and turn them into lesbians. What does that tell you? They want to be able to do whatever to you. And some of you black people that play into it, thinking you're going to benefit. No, trust me. You've seen BLM, right? You saw Patrice Cullors. You saw what she did. So don't be blinded. Don't be blinded by your hatred. Your issues is not with other people. I guarantee you, this is for everybody. I guarantee you, if you take a deep dive, you look at yourself, I'm talking from within, you will see this evil things I'm pointing out. But I don't want to keep you long. We went 1 hour 30 minutes, but I've got other shows that I'm going to be bringing here because there has been a lot happening. The world is going crazy, people. Just in case you haven't been, checking out. And it's shifting because the people that some of you believe in, they are showing you that they are insane human beings. This is why people like me, we are needed out here to bring sanity back to the masses. I hope you enjoyed this show because I sure did. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel if you're new here. And, I've seen some people, one person give me thumbs down. That's also good, but whatever you do, make sure you hit whatever would bring traffic so that other people get to see it. Until next time, I will see you.
Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you. Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so